Guys, boxing gossip here on a Friday night. I hope you don't mind that I'm reclining as I'm talking to you. I'm staying away from home for the weekend this weekend, and unfortunately the filming facilities are even worse than my little rented flat with the good wallpaper. At least you guys can focus on me rather than the wallpaper in this particular video. I'm here to talk about the boxing action this weekend, most notably Derry Matthews versus Terry Flanagan. The card has obviously lost a little bit of sparkle now that it appears Guillermo Rigondeaux won't be fighting on the card. Obviously, initially he was scheduled to fight Jazza Dickens, but the fight has been called off due to visa issues, and Rigondeaux being unable to travel to the country due to visa issues, which is highly unfortunate. It would have been great for UK fight fans to see a guy who is considered by most as a elite pound-for-pound top fighter competing on these shores. Very, very unfortunate that that's fallen apart. The skeptic in me remembers when Derek Chisora was once penciled in to fight Deontay Wilder on a Frank Warren show. But who knows? I guess visa issues, these things can happen. I do wonder if it could have been announced earlier, perhaps, that maybe he wasn't competing, but who knows? But anyway, we're left with still a decent card. You've got Zolane Teti on the undercard, fighting at bantamweight, I believe. UK fight fans will remember Teti for pretty much demolishing Paul Butler when they fought, and Paul Butler at the time was looking like a very, very solid prospect himself. You've got Paul Butler also on the undercard. A number of other fighters on the undercard as well. You've got Jinder Singh, Kevin Satchel, and the card is headlined by Terry Flanagan and Derry Matthews. Now, let me say, I detect a strong sentiment in the boxing community at present that Sky Boxing and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom are, for the casual fan. They've got Anthony Joshua, and they are dominating the casual market, whereas BoxNation is for the hardcore fan. We get the good trade fights, and Frank Warren's got fighters who are maybe not celebrity fighters, but real solid technicians like Billy Joe Saunders and Terry Flanagan. And I think a lot of people have bought into that image of BoxNation being the hardcore fans fight channel, and Frank Warren being the hardcore fans promoter. What I would say in this particular instance is Flanagan versus Matthews, on paper it's not a bad fight, don't get me wrong, and on paper it's a decent card, but I'm slightly struggling to get up for this. And one thing I should say, unfortunately, is I'm actually going away this weekend with the Mrs. Gossip, so I won't be able to watch the fight. I'll have to watch it Sunday morning, and I won't be able to post a video straight afterwards. Now, that's nothing to do with the fact that I'm biased to Sky. It's just a coincidence that I'm actually happening to be away this weekend, so you have to bear with me. There won't be an immediate post-fight video as there normally will, and that will follow some point on Sunday. But regardless, I'm actually struggling to get massively up for this fight, and part of that may be that I'm not able to watch it live, so it's perhaps a little less exciting for me. But whilst a lot of people who are big BoxNation fans, are big Frank Warren fans, and hate Sky and hate Eddie Hearn, are saying that this is an amazing fight, how many of us out there are struggling to pick a winner in this fight? How many of us out there are saying, this is a real 50-50 and could go either way? Let's be honest, Derry Matthews is a good fighter. He's a guy who's improved throughout the course of his career. And I know having early losses on the record doesn't necessarily mean a guy's a bad fighter. Look at Johnny Nelson, look at Bernard Hopkins. These guys lost early fights and went on to be world champions, But Derry Matthews has 9 losses on his resume. As recently as a few years ago, Derry Matthews was losing to the guys at sort of Gary Buckland, Gavin Rees sort of level. Derry Matthews has already lost to Flanagan, albeit in a prize fighter format, which tells its own story. But the truth is that whilst Derry Matthews is a likeable fighter in the sense that he's gritty, he's tough, he's not been glamorous, but he's worked his way up to this level of the sport, and whilst that definitely does deserve respect, How many of us are there that genuinely believe he can live with a guy like Terry Flanagan? Terry Flanagan is a guy who appears, at least to the eye test, to be a elite fighter whose career is moving in an extremely and aggressively upwards trajectory. I mean, Terry Flanagan, I believe, is 29-0. Not that an unbeaten record necessarily means too much, but he's 29-0. His performances recently have been getting better and better and better. He's looked like a stronger and stronger fighter. And for me, he just appears to be a real solid technician. He seems to be very solid defensively, even though he's not the biggest power puncher in the world. He seems to put his punches together very well. He seems to pick very nice shots. I mean, that uppercut he landed on Diego Magdaleno was, one of the most perfect shots you'll see in a boxing ring. I mean, Terry Flanagan is a class act, and for me, it's hard to see this as a competitive fight. I look at this as like let's say Hughie Fury. And I know Flanagan has fought at a lot higher level than Hughie Fury, because obviously Flanagan's a world champion. But let's say you had a Hughie Fury versus Derek Chisora. In one corner you've got Derek Chisora, sort of battle-hardened veteran, lots of fights, come up short a few times. And in the other corner you've got Hughie Fury, the solid technician, perhaps not tested at the highest level, but seeming to the eye test to have the skills and the boxing pedigree to go very, very far in the sport. And for me, it's the same here. I look at Derry Matthews, and it should be noted that Derry Matthews has got himself in pretty tip-top shape for this fight, but I look at Derry Matthews and I think, not only has he missed his chance, but he might have missed it 9 times, in all the different losses. And I just look at him and I look at the way he fights, and he's a solid fighter, but is he exceptional? Is he world class? Does he really have the attributes in his game to beat a guy like Terry Flanagan? And I personally think not. It's a good fight in the sense that it's two domestic fighters who compete at a high level, clashing against each other at a good point in their careers. But is this a competitive fight? Is this really a 2-horse race? Not for me. Not for my money. And I think Flanagan wins it comfortably. I'm not saying he knocks Derry Matthews out. Matthews obviously is a tough guy. Flanagan's power may have been overrated and may have been overstated in recent performances where he's had a few early stoppages. But for me, I just see Flanagan as a class above Derry Matthews, I'm afraid. And look, I think I like to think I speak my mind on these things. I like to think people think I'm a biased YouTuber, but look, two of my favourite boxers, Hughie Fury and Billy Joe Saunders, I've been very critical of both of them with their recent fights. You've got to say it how it is, and I know a lot of people wouldn't want to criticise a card like this because it's not fashionable to say Eddie Hearn's putting on good cards, and it's unfashionable to criticise a hardcore trade fight of this nature. But for me, this isn't a fight that gets the blood pumping. It's not competitive. The upset isn't realistic, and I expect that Flanagan will come through with ease and win clearly on points. The undercard holds some interest. I must admit, a large portion of the interest for me came with Rigondeaux, or Rigondeaux, as Frank Warren sometimes refers to him. And it is unfortunate that fight's off. That certainly added a bit of celebrity, it added a bit of glamour to the card. I understand there's a lot of people who've bought tickets just in the hope of seeing a Rigondeaux fight, and it's very unfortunate that is the case, because those tickets won't be refunded, I would presume. But if you look at the card, there are other fights on there, but there isn't really anything that gets the blood massively flowing for this one, and it is unfortunate I won't be able to watch it live. But by the same token, as you can probably tell, of all the cards that there are this year, I'd be more disappointed to myself, let's put it that way. Let me know your thoughts. Am I being overcritical? How do you see the main event going? Is it competitive? And who do you pick to win? I'm going Flanagan UD. Do you see a stoppage or do you see an upset? Let me know your thoughts. Many thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching again.